Okay, so today I'll be talking about completing the stress cycle. And what is the stress cycle? So this is a concept that I've just recently been introduced to. It was actually a concept that was brought up into this book called Burnout: The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. And before that, I didn't know much about it. I knew that there was stress. I knew that I felt stress, but I didn't know what stress was particularly. I knew that it was a sensation that I didn't enjoy and that it was something that I had happened multiple times in my life. But I didn't know that it had a beginning, middle, and end, and that we are able to move through the stress response cycle and be able to find healthier ways to deal with stresses that come into our lives, whether or not the stress is something that's complete. So the problem is that when we get stuck in the stress, that's where burnout happens. So this is something that I experienced myself back in 2019 into 2020 when I got very overwhelmed with lots of things going on in my life. And so this is something that I've been trying to learn more about and to be more familiar with what these patterns are. So with the completing the body stress cycle, there's 6 evidence-based strategies that are listed in the book. The first one is physical activity. So the point is to move your body. So that can be cleaning your house, that can be dancing with your friends in a room, that can be obviously working out at a gym or running, or even just moving in your, like doing some jumping jacks. Also creativity. So whatever creative endeavor speaks to you, do it. So for me, I love knitting. Whenever I get into the holiday spirit, I always try and knit scarves, and it just gets me to think about something that's other than my constant thoughts. So it was nice to be able to find a method that helps me move my hands and helps me be creative and create something new. And also I would find creativity in terms of event planning as well. So that's been a big passion for me. Laughter is another one. So being able to use on a scale of CAT, how are you feeling today? For example, in team meetings, there's a bunch of different feeling scales that you can find online based upon friends or animals or whatever you want to make it. And it's always a fun way to bring in some laughter. For me, I love listening to stand-up comedy, and also I always enjoy a good dad's joke or just a joke in general. Crying is something that I think can be really helpful in terms of sort of letting it go, regardless of what gender you are, regardless of what is going on in terms of your age. It's a great way to be able to release stress, whether it's happy tears, sad tears, angry tears, whatever it may be. It's a great way to be able to let that come out and to let our emotions flow. Then physical affection. It's not just romance, it's also puppies and other forms of pets in our lives. For me, I don't have pets, but I really enjoy being able to visit friends who have pets and just being able to have some sort of therapy from afar. Friends, of course, are always a great example of that. And it's a great way to be able to build up trust and raise hormones like oxytocin in our body and shift our hormones in association with that. And finally, deep breathing. So deep breathing, I just started using Insight Timer, which is a free app. There's also a pro version of it, but there's so much material that's for free on it. There's free yoga classes, there's free meditations. And for me, I was always looking for a way to be able to try and practice deep breathing. And this was something that I found really helpful in terms of being able to find the calm. There's also like a timer that's associated with it. So if you just want to do like calm sort of Zen space where it's just you and a timer, you can also do it on there. But it's a great way to be able to complete your fight or flight stress response. So I just want to invite you to share in the chat, what do you enjoy, what works for you, and to leave it off with the quote that wellness is not a state of being, it's a state of action. It is the freedom to oscillate through the cycles of being human. Real world wellness is messy, complicated, and not always accessible. If you sometimes feel overwhelmed and exhausted, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means you're moving through the process. Grant your body permission to be imperfect and listen to your own experience. And that concludes my presentation.